So, I'm sorry,
Be careful.
I don't know much of the story, but it's a wholesaler that's buying from another wholesaler?
Yes, because wholesalers buy.
Okay.
I'm a buyer, I'm a flipper, I'm a buy and holder. I got into wholesaling to source my own deals. Most wholesalers get into wholesaling so that they can become an investor, because a wholesaler is not an investor. It's ATM money. You get a deal, you get paid, it's gone. You throw it into your marketing. Don't buy a BMW, don't buy a nice watch. Put it back in your marketing. Hire a few Janices and a few Adolfos. Okay? Then when you're fat, then if you want to buy a BMW, go ahead. I don't recommend it. Buy a used one like the Millionaire Next Door book I told you about.
Yeah.
You don't need a brand new car to impress people. Get a rental property.
I know
Okay.
sellers.
Yeah. My buddy Wilner has rentals. He knows what I'm talking about. Who here has rentals? There you go. So you guys understand. That is not ATM money. That's mailbox money. That's passive income. That's cash flow you're getting every month. Okay? So trust. That old guy was willing to sell that house. I knew that he probably had a loose marble. So before I signed with him, I was going to make sure I get a family member in the room with me that is coherent. Because what are the 5 things to have a legal contract? One of them is to be competent. You got to be over 18. Okay? You got to have consideration, earnest money. Okay, so the main thing I'm trying to get here is you have to be of sound mind and body to sign the contract. I don't think the guy in Fort Pierce knew what he was signing. And this guy in Riviera, I don't think he's in sound mind. Not at all. Maybe this judge too, because I don't know. But I still called him Your Honor. I give him respect. Come on. Immediate report. A guy like me. I mean, why not? Hey, come, the guy's a judge. Come on now. It's not easy to be a judge. Anyway, ethics. Ethics in real estate. Getting paid. Mike, you're taking off? Thanks for coming, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
Mike came all the way from Miami. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. There's a few other people here that came from Miami. Thanks for sticking around. You won't be disappointed. Mike's been to many of my meetups. So my point is, look, you might make a little money on the front end, but if you deceive people, you lie to people, you backdoor them,
Karma's
and not just karma, in the long run, your reputation. Your reputation. If your reputation, I know all the wholesalers in the area pretty much. I got like 89 wholesalers on my phone, and if one of them does something wrong, everybody knows, right, Aisha? Everybody knows. There's a few of them that have been blackballed. Oh yeah, blackballed. You don't want to get blackballed, because then now your income's going to go down because nobody wants to do business with you. One mistake, you're done. Trust, critical. Relationships, business, personal, everything. Okay?
Mr. Rich, I'm getting out of here.
Okay, bro.
I appreciate you.
You should be speaking on one of my events.
Soon.
Okay, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of creative financing. This is what I wanted to cover today, because in 2023, this is what's going to get deals for people like me and Patrick that like rentals and Wilner. You're going to go to a seller and say, hey, look, I like your house, but you want a little bit too much money. You want a little bit too much, but I can pay that amount, Wilner. I can pay your whole $350. You know that's what it's worth, all fixed up. But it needs a new kitchen, and it needs a roof. But I can still pay you $350. Wilner's smiling. Oh, wow. Hey, Beatrice, he's gonna pay me $350. But then I'll tell him, but we're gonna do terms. And then he usually says, what's terms? I said, well, you ever bought a car in a dealership and you finance it? Well, I do that with houses. You own it free and clear, you got no mortgage. You're gonna be the bank. And here's the best part. You're not gonna get hit by capital gains taxes, because I'm gonna make you payments. It's like you got a tenant in there, but you don't have to do repairs. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to pay insurance. You don't have to pay the HOA. I'm gonna pay all that. And I'm gonna pay you every month plus interest. So now I just picked up a $350,000 house at a $1,300 a month payment, and I'm renting it out for $19,000.
Very good. Pleasure.
Thanks for coming, brother.
We'll talk to you.
That's how you do that type of creative deal. But the deal that we actually have right now is an innovation deal. You can do a lease option where, anybody ever heard of Airbnb arbitrage?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of like a lease option. Say, hey, lease me your property, but you're gonna lease it to me, George, but I'm gonna keep it in pristine condition. I'm gonna have a lady in there clean it every day. I'm gonna furnish it, and I'm gonna turn it into an Airbnb, George. I'm fully disclosing. I'm gonna pay you $1,800 a month. but I'm going to Airbnb it. It's going to be in pristine condition. I'm going to collect $3,500 a month as an Airbnb. Pay him as 15 or 18, and I cash flow the rest. That's Airbnb arbitrage. Believe it or not, a lot of sellers agree to that because their rental property's in pristine condition, and they don't have to worry about repairs or nothing. A lot of them say yes. Lease option's great. Novation, I'm going to cover a real novation deal. Subject to, Wilner has a property with a mortgage. He's got bad tenants in there. They're not paying rent. They're terrible. They're tearing the place up. There was a fire in the kitchen. Rich, yeah, I do want to sell my house, but I'm not giving it away. All right, well, do you owe a mortgage? He's like, yeah, I own a mortgage. Ah, okay, well, look, how about if I give you $5,000 and take over your mortgage payments? Because his mortgage is at 3% fixed, because he got it back in the day when mortgage rates were low. So he's like, oh no, but I want to buy another house. I can't do it because I'm going to lend you this, I can't buy another house if I owner finance you this one. If you take over my mortgage. Let me start over. I'm taking over your mortgage, and you think you can't buy another house. You can. You can. Because I'm going to put it on an automatic payment with a debt servicing company. They're going to make the payments directly to the bank. And when Wilder goes to apply for another loan, I'm going to send something to his underwriter, his lender, that shows that I'm the one making the payments. So it's not going to go under his debt service ratio or his loan, the properties that he's paying on. In other words, it's off of his records of him making payments on that property. I'm making payments. And my mentor, Pace, with Sub 2, he's got all the paperwork. The community's huge. All I gotta do is make a phone call and I got the paperwork. That's what we're looking to do in 2023. Now, when you have a mortgage and there's room for money for the seller, then that's a wrap. I'm gonna give you money and I'm gonna wrap it around with the mortgage. That's called a wrap. And my friend here, sorry, I was gonna be Eric. Alex, and I'm pretty good with names. Alex can help you with that. If you're in Sub 2, you can go to the Sub 2 community, but if you need a good title company, Alex will walk you through it. So if you get a seller that says they want to do a Sub 2 or creative financing, or you take over their payments, call Alex or call me, and I can help you. I got all the paperwork and everything. It's a lot of disclosures, a ton of disclosures. With that old guy with the quick claim, they should have done disclosures when he signed it over. Do you understand the property won't be under your name? Do you understand that you're not getting any money for it? Do you understand that we're going to take over the pre-foreclosure and bring it current? It's called the reinstatement amount. Okay, I think the first guy paid the reinstatement amount, got it out of foreclosure, and he took the property, gave the guy nothing. He didn't disclose. He screwed up because he didn't disclose it. You guys are agents. You know you got to disclose. Right, Anastasia? That's where he screwed up. He didn't disclose. Novation. Novation's one of my favorite. I actually have a real novation deal right now. I think I got the contract here. Here it is. This is a real novation agreement. Now, there's several types of novations. I can go to a seller and I can say, Alex, I like your house. Alex doesn't want to sell it at the discount. Okay? He doesn't have the money to repair it to get the full ARV. So I'm going to partner with Alex. Now, I don't do this with everyone. I have to really like and trust you to do this. Alex, look, I am going to rehab the property out of my pocket. When we close, I'm going to put this in writing, obviously. When we close, I'm going to get my rehab money back, and whatever the proceeds are, you split it 50-50, 60-40, whatever you agree to. Whatever you agree to. Usually 50-50. So I'm putting up the rehab, you're putting up the property. I don't have to get a money lender. I don't have to turn on the lights, right, Wilder? I don't have to get insurance. I don't have to pay the taxes. I don't have to call FP&L because everything's still under their name. I'm gonna rehab it and I'm gonna list it so I get paid as a realtor and I get paid half of whatever he gets. That's one type of novation. But with that, it's gotta be a lot of trust with the seller, a lot of trust. And your title company has to be fantastic too. On this one, we're using RTR Title. They know how to do these deals. This is a type of novation. How many agents are here? Realtors. Okay, this is something of interest to realtors, okay? This one is a novation where the seller gives you authorization to list the property. You're probably saying to yourself, why would a seller sign a power of attorney to some unlicensed guy to take care of the property listing and sell the property? Well, my guy promised him X amount of dollars. In this case, it was $245 he promised the seller. He did a purchase agreement for $245, okay? He came to me and said, Rich, I got a novation agreement where it says the seller grants me limited and specific authorization to Oasis Property Investments located in Gateway. I shall have the full power and authority to undertake and perform the following acts on behalf related to the property at the address. Seller specifically authorizes and gives permission to the attorney in facto, the guy that's signing with him, to list the property on any and all multiple listing services for the purposes of marketing and selling the property. This includes executing listing agreements, listing agreement addendums, disclosures, sales contracts, and addendums. This authority hereby shall include such incidental acts as reasonably required to carry authority granted herein. It's a bunch of legal jargon, which means that whoever signed that with that seller has full authority to work with the agent to list the property. I listed that property in Boynton. It's a 2-2 condo right by Aldi's off of Woolbright and Knuth in Belmont Place. I listed it using the wholesaler's signature on the listing agreement. Can you believe it? Anastasia, do you believe that? Do you think it's possible? I'm asking the realtors in the house. Susan, do you believe that?
I didn't know it was legal.
Exactly.
Honestly.
You know what makes it legal?
Full disclosure.
It's power of attorney.
Right.
The seller gave this person the power to list the property, to sign addendums, to do contracts, to negotiate.
Does that typically have to be notarized?
Typically, but not necessarily.
That's what I don't get.
Again, it goes with trust. It comes with trust.
I think it's a conflict of interest.
It is. But the seller, it's a magnificent. Now, I was going to talk about this. What time is it? My watch died on me. Boy, I've really been talking a long time. 8:40. Oof. Okay. Quickly, I'm gonna tell you about this deal. Okay, the seller is a couple. They're getting married. Okay, she owns a condo in Broward. My guy locked that one up. He's closing on it. My contractor Juan is rehabbing it, and then I'm gonna list it. It's actually going on coming soon this Friday. I have another one coming soon on Friday as well. That was the fiance's property. They moved to Leesburg. They're already gone. But while I had it listed, they were still there. And Susan, they had 2 large dogs. The place was cluttered with furniture, and you agents know that clutter doesn't sell. You got to clean the clutter for your listing photos, right? How many deals did I lose on MLS because I didn't declutter the house? Too many. So I said, Phil. And they had 2 large dogs. One of them is terrified of people because something happened when he was a puppy. Terrified, but they were huge. I could only show the property between 5 and 5:30 because I know. Why? Because that's my magic window, because the fiancé worked at night as a night nurse for an ER. He worked as a manager for Publix. So my window to get buyers in was a half hour from 5:30 to 6. And then the fiancé was always very angry because she just woke up and she's being interrupted. She had to leave with the dogs to take them out. And the dog even pooped in the property. And who cleaned it up? Anybody guess?
Oh, no.
Why did I clean it up? I can reverse the slides and explain to you why. Because I add value and I do what other people won't. That's why. I just asked him for a rate my agent today. And that's after the deal has been delayed by 2 weeks because of the lender and the HOA. The master insurance policy was hinky, the roofs were going up, the first lender backed out. I got the freaking place sold, regardless of all those obstacles. I'll never forget this deal because it was an ovation and because it was a listing that I sold that really shouldn't have sold. It was crazy. So I got a cleaning company in there. It's vacant now, it's cleaned, we're closing on Thursday, so. But the guy never signed the listing agreement. But I always kept him informed. Okay, yeah, this is where we are. We got a buyer. She's a nurse at Bethesda. This is all real. She's a doctor in Bethesda, a resident in Bethesda. Okay, she's got the money. She's putting a big down payment. She's been approved. And then I told them, yeah, we had a problem with the roofs. They changed the insurance in December, and the underwriter don't like it, so now they have to find a new lender. It's going to delay the closing. He wasn't happy, but he knows it's not my fault. I spoke to him today because I asked him for a review. You guys asked for reviews?
And you said they didn't sign the listing agreement?
No. The owners of record did not sign the listing agreement. I have it on my laptop. I could show it to you if you don't believe me. My wholesaler, who's unlicensed, signed it with me, the listing agent. The wholesaler signed the listing agreement because he had power of attorney. Now remember, this wholesaler I met at this meetup, what was that, March or April last year, honey? That was April, right? And then he spoke at my meetup too. He's got a franchise, Joe Homebuyer. He's a heavy-hitting wholesaler. So long story short, we do a ton of deals, and I told him, I said, I asked the title company, they said, yeah, this is legal. You have a power of attorney to list the property. So any addendums went through my guy. The seller works nights, she don't want to be bothered. The other guy, he don't want to be bothered. He's a Marine Corps veteran like me. We bonded immediately. He calls me brother. I'm getting a deal done. This is the first deal I ever did where I signed a listing agreement with somebody who was not the owner of record. I don't know a lot of agents that did that. Do you know any agents that did that? Well, now you do.
It comes back to their trust.
Thank you, Lord. It goes back to trust.
Well, and also they had this power of attorney in play. You wouldn't do it without that power of attorney.
I could review the slides. I could reverse the slides and remind you that you have to do what other people are not doing to get deals. That's how we're going to survive in 2023. And if that means reading more books and turning off Netflix, coming to more events, meeting people like George and Alex and Susan, everybody that's here. I told you, one guy changed my life in this meetup. One guy at the meetup I went to 2 years ago, I sold him like 6 houses. I made like 130 grand on one guy last year. One buyer. Me and him are like this now. He's always inviting me out to have a beer. He's all the way in the gardens. So this is an innovation that is real and doable. If any of you people, agents or otherwise, come across one of these and you need the paperwork or need me to help you with it, I do a lot of joint venturing. If you need help, I'm not going to steal your deal. We'll work it together and we'll get paid at closing, both of us.
Just to
Okay?
be clear really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are not the power of attorney on this?
I am
You're
not.
the listing agent.
I am not, because that would definitely be a conflict
You
of
were the
interest.
listing agent, somebody else had.
I'm the listing agent. Somebody else had the power of attorney. But the guy with the power of attorney does not have a license. He's not licensed. There's a gray
If you
area.
had a license, it was not a listing agent.
Ooh, you got to be careful.
Okay.
You got to be careful if you got a license. You can lose it.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, yeah, you get fined. So be careful. I made sure this was straight before. I made sure this was good. I'm not looking to, remember, reputation's everything. So because of things like this, my business is booming. I became an agent to occasionally convert a wholesale deal. I'm doing more listings now than I'm doing direct wholesale deals. I also do dispositions, but that's easy because I got good friends like Wilner and Patrick and that buy from me. I send it to them, they buy, done. But going direct to seller and trying to get a deal, I mean, I got a guy that I've been following up over 2.5 years. I had a beer with him 2.5 years in Lake Worth. COVID hit, they're old, they're not coming back. He said, yeah, Rich, I want to sell it and get a condo. Okay, so I'm occasionally sending him condo listings, 2-2s with a garage. That's what he wants. They're hard to find. So I told him about the one on Belmont. That's a 2-2 with a garage. Oh, no, but it's a second floor. You're killing me. You're killing me, man. His name is Sal Ambruso. Sal, you're killing me, brother. He's Italian. My best friend was Italian. I've been to Italy. I love Italians. Me and him are like this. I've been following up for 2.5 years, Wilner. When I get that house, I'm not selling it to you. I'm flipping it myself, brother. It's in Lake Worth, man, like 18th Avenue North or something like that. But anyway, everything I discussed about doing what other people don't do and how to like do well in 2023 by changing how you cold call, how you talk to people, trust, likability, it all ties in to your goals. Has anyone ever been on a ship before, on a cruise? Yeah, so when you go on a cruise, what does the captain of the ship do? He has like a compass, right? He punches in the coordinates for the next port, right? Okay, So he knows exactly where he's going. A human being that doesn't have a goal is like a ship in the ocean that doesn't have a compass. They're just wandering around hoping they hit land sometime. It's like a wholesaler like just shooting, oh, is this person gonna say yes? Let me just call this guy, see what happens. No, have goals. I have a sheet for everybody. Some of you already got them. This is a goal achieving, where's my helper? This is the goal. This is a goal achieving activities worksheet. Okay? I write my goals down every day because when you write it down, it burns it into your memory. Your subconscious burns it into your memory. So this is going to keep you accountable. 6 goal achieving activities to complete daily, and then you sign it at the bottom. So now your subconscious mind is saying, wow, I made a commitment to myself.
It's almost like an agreement with yourself.
Exactly, thank you for that. So you're kind of making an agreement with yourself. You know what?
Now you're obligated.
I'm going to do 3 listings this week. I'm going to do 2 disposition deals this week. And I'm going to lock up a rental property this week. Okay? Okay, so that's you. Now, don't say that you're going to make $1 billion in a month. Do a goal that's kind of like reasonable. Because if you do a goal, do you guys get these? If you do a goal that's like crazy, that's called a C goal.
Yeah.
A C goal is something you've never done that's outrageous. But don't say you're going to make $1 billion this year. Come on, if you only make 30 a year ever, if that's your number, then set it to something like 50 or 100, make it reasonable, and then next year, go a little higher. The key to goals, everybody get one of these?